LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking.
A dangerous pastime.
I know. Welcome to our review of Beauty and the Beast. Scott here was very lucky to go to the New Zealand premiere. He took his girlfriend though and didn't invite me, so I haven't seen it. That's fine though. That's totally fine. We're just gonna try our best to go for it.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen the original film, so I'm gonna review that one.
Cool. I'll review the new one. Bill Condon directs the latest Disney entry in their reimagined, I would call it, classic Disney films. Beauty and the Beast is this one, and it stars Emma Watson,
Hermione,
Granger, Gandalf, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Matthew Crawley from Downton Abbey, he's in that.
Yep. And whatever Kevin Kline is famous for.
Yeah. The plot focuses on a prince who is cursed for being a dick, essentially.
There's just a rose that has petals that fall off, and when the last one falls off, he is permanently a beast.
There's a time limit, and he's got to kind of learn to love someone and have them love him back.
Yeah.
And Belle is introduced, and she, through circumstances, ends up being like a ward at his castle, and slowly they learn to love each other. And yeah, this movie is considered one of the greatest Disney films, the original. It was the only animated film at the time to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars.
I did not know that going into this.
I think it's a bit dangerous for them to do a remake of this film, because with Jungle Book, it was an older movie, you know, it was cool to kind of go back and try a different story, but Beauty and the Beast, from what I've seen from the trailers, it looks like it's the exact same story.
I don't really remember the original too well, but I do think it was probably a bit soon for them to remake this. I think with the way it was animated and the way the whole production was put together, because obviously they were like, okay, we can remake this movie now because we have all this new technology with CGI and stuff. But it took the genuine magic out of the film, I thought. Like, this is where the film falters mostly. Cinematography was fine, but there was still sort of like disengagedness about the whole film that just stopped it from being a classic, and I think that's from making it too CGI heavy.
It had a lot more freedom when it was animated, you know?
Yeah.
And just with the idea of the characters being inanimate objects, it's very difficult to do this day and age, even with all the green screen, like with the performances and stuff. But
the performances are great, actually. Standouts are definitely Ian McKellen and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ewan McGregor. As Lumiere and Cogsworth.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor definitely gives off a very genie from Aladdin vibe. Like, if he had more screen time, I would almost say that was as good a performance as Robin Williams.
I have no taste buds, but I can tell this is exquisite.
He was probably the best part of the movie for me, but also Ian McKellen, absolutely. Like, going into this, I thought, he's getting old. His comedy chops might be a bit, like, doddery and stuff, but his performance is Clocksworth, whatever you call him. He was great. Like, he had me cracking up the whole way through. Luke Evans as Gaston is also really great. Emma Watson definitely gave her all for this performance. This is obviously one that she wanted to do for a long time. You can tell through outside of the film, like, she really wants to be a role model for young women, and she really pushes that in this film. Like, there's even scenes of her teaching young girls to read and write.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't too shoehorned in there. Like, it did fit with the character Belle, so I can see why Emma Watson really wanted to do this.
Yeah, Bella's like the quintessential Disney hero, and she was the first to kind of have a real personality. In the past, it was just all the princesses cared about was getting with the prince, but she was the first to really have a personality.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason it was so beloved at the time, why it was got an Oscar nomination, because of Belle.
And they also handled the falling in love with the Beast and Beast falling in love with her quite well. Like, that was well balanced out, and they gave good reasons why everything sort of happened. It wasn't just her just falling in love with a man for the sake of the story. Like, it did work. They did seem genuinely well fitted to each other.
It's quite subtly done in the original. It's not like a big bold statement of, I love you. It's sort of like the breadcrumbs throughout the film, you know.
Some of the other things I really liked about this film, they kept a lot of the colour palette the same from the original. Like, from the moment Belle walks out of her house and it looks very Disney, but she's a real person. Even the house, like, the set design was really good. I enjoyed a lot of the music. Music was great. Emma Thompson does a really good Mrs. Potts, and her singing is great in this film.
Better than Angela Lansbury?
No idea.
The thing I love about the animated film is that it still stands up. You know, animation's beautiful. The characters are all so good. The music stands the test of time.
Jim like Gaston.
As a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating.
I wanna guy like Gaston.
Some of the things I didn't like so much. Not that I didn't like it, but I think if you had young kids, they kind of beefed up the beasts and the wolves, so they're quite scary. So if you're like a little kid, you probably be like, oh shit.
Well, the original's scary. The beast is quite intimidating, and the wolf scene's quite
that's what
scary.
my girlfriend
so, yeah.
said actually when she was a child. She found the beast
Yeah.
quite scary, but yeah, it's just like a lot of bass in the theater when you're watching it. Like on DVD, I think it would be a lot easier, but it's just like
Oh yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching this film, but a part of me feels like it's very hard to beat the original, you know? It's such a timeless classic. It's one of my favourite Disney films, up there with The Lion King. And yeah, I think it was pretty silly of them to do this, but also I'm looking forward to just watching it again, you know, in this live action format. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I'd give it a 10. Honestly, this is like such a great film for me. Like, I love this movie. I watch it all the time, and it's just, in my mind, one of the best Disney films. I think everyone should watch it. Tale as old as time.
Well, I thought it was pretty good overall. I think you're probably right to be a bit skeptical. I think they were a bit early on, or possibly should have got a director in, like, not Jon Favreau, because I think this would be the wrong film for him, but someone who's experienced with working with a lot of digital stuff on that side of it, and then bring the best of the performances of the live action actors out to match the CGI, so it, like, all fitted together well. I think that was really where this movie got held up. But other than that, it's pretty good. Like, everyone, you could tell the people that worked on it really wanted to be there and were giving it their best. Yeah, I'd recommend it to people who wanted to see it.
Sweet.
I will score it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So not super high. It just lacked the magic it needed.
Sure.
But it was close.
Well, thanks for stopping by, everybody, to check out half of a review for the film. I'll see it as soon as possible. Wish I was in America so I could watch it now, but yeah, live in New Zealand. We get it later. Sucks.
Yeah. How about that Lego Batman, eh?
Yeah, no way. John Wick 2, please. God. Anyway, if you liked our review, check out our other stuff. We've got some top 5s, we've got some sketches, lots of cool stuff on our channel. So yeah, like and subscribe, guys. We appreciate it.
Bunch of other stuff coming later.
Definitely,
in the year.
yeah. So, yeah. Certain as the sun, rising in the east,
Tale as old as time.
song as old as rhyme, beauty and the